All right, everybody. Peace. Welcome. This is Prime Sports Media. It seems like it's been a while since the last game. We did the post-game report on the sensational win. Seemed like 2 weeks now that they went into the state of Florida and they beat UCF. They beat them soundly and came out of that game with some confidence. We're also seeing that the defense of CU has made very much a lot of improvement in the last game that we witnessed against UCF. This week, it's going to be a night game. I'm hearing reports that Coach Prime is not very happy at all about the night game, how late it's starting. He's never been a fan of these night games because from his point of view, it seems like CU has gotten the short end of the stick in terms of how they go about for these special kickoffs late at night. This is going to be a nationally televised game. Folks, it's going to be a big-time nationally televised game here. Colorado versus Kansas State will be a nationally televised game on ESPN. Okay, all of Colorado games have been nationally televised. Respect Prime. This is a means that I found on social media, particularly on Facebook. There's going to be a battle. Both teams are very talented. CU, as you know, again, has made lots of improvement. One of the things that we want to caution is that we hope and we want to have belief in the process that Coach Prime is not letting these kids take that win as if that's the end-all, the be-all to the season. And when you watch videos on Well-Off Media, shout out to Well-Off Media and his son, Deion Sanders Jr., and that channel, they give us great insight into the mindset of the coaches, the players, and what's going on. And it seems that Coach Prime says he's used that game as an example that when you practice right, this is the theme that Coach Prime has been hitting on throughout the whole week, that they've gotten back into practice mode. They've gotten back into mode of preparing for the game against K-State. And that mode is if you practice like you play in the game, if you practice and focus on the details of your practice and you practice at a high level, then you can perform. He says, I could tell if a player is going to perform well based on how they do in practice, how serious they take practice, how serious they take the studying of the film, the video, how serious and how much time they put in their preparation, their technique that they're using to prepare themselves for the football game. These are necessary to play at your ultimate level. So that's what I kept hearing on those videos on Well-Off Media from Coach Prime, that you guys got to keep maintaining the same level of preparation. They also brought someone on board that's in the NFL that played with Coach Prime, a young man that played with CU, I believe, a year ago. And I think he's on the practice squad for one of the teams in the NFL. And he brought him on to basically impart upon the players currently on this roster how important practice and technique and attention to details must be if you're going to play at the next level and play at this level, but most of all, if you want to have the kind of success that they had just a week ago. This is, I think, might be, so far in the season, this might be their greatest test. I believe, and I've been saying this since the game against Nebraska, I wanted them to win that game, but it seems like the Nebraska game was the wake-up call, was the bell sound, was the cowbell sound for this team to wake up, execute, and understand the seriousness of the moment that they are in. This game, I think, is going to be another one of those games where they're coming into a game against a team in K-State. Kansas State was a pretty damn good team in the Big 12 last year in terms of their defense, their returning starters. I'm going to go over right now and let you know basically some things about K-State that they're going to need to focus on and prepare themselves for. We're going to go over that right now. I've got some video of Coach Prime speaking at his press conference this week We've got Shadozy. I have some clip of Shadozy, who's going to be full force this week for the game. Of course, we know that Deion Sanders is going to be back in effect with this football team. Let me put Deion up here right now. Yeah, Deion Sanders, according to Coach Prime, is going to be back out there, added to that secondary, that safety dairy, as I call it, with Cameron Craig. He says that our man, Mr. Stoudemire Carter, has played well, has gained a lot of experience, and he talked about how the goal is to still bring them in under certain packages when necessary in this game. I'm going to say this. I've been saying this for a long time. They've got to employ packages. You've got the safety and Craig has shown that he's bona fide at being able to get out there and make things happen. But let's put up Stoudemire right here, right next to me, as he has played great football since Deion Sanders has been out. He's gotten important playing time, which can only add more depth of experience to this football team. And Coach Prime said, don't worry, we're going to bring him in on certain packages to still keep him involved in this upcoming football game. Okay, Coach Prime is going up against Coach Chris Klieman. This is Chris Klieman, head coach of K-State, if I'm saying his name correctly. I've got some video of him, some footage of him speaking about the high task that they are going to be under to deal with a quarterback like Shedeur. He had a lot of great things to say about Shedeur's skills. He believes, Chris Klieman, he believes that Shedeur should be a #1 pick in the draft. He says, hey, Shedeur is going to go #1. Now, maybe he's saying this not only to give the young man flattery, but maybe this could be a strategy as a coach to try to make the other team feel sort of good about themselves, while at the same time preparing his team to go in there to attempt to do damage to this team. So even though he had good things to say about Shedeur, this is football, and they'll use what we call psychological strategies. He also has some good things to say about Travis Hunter. We know that he's been sensational since last week, giving that amazing, magnificent pose of the Heisman Trophy variety. And if this man can keep up at the pace that he's keeping up, I don't see why he can't be a lead runner as it relates to the Heisman Trophy. I want to thank everybody that's coming in into the chat room, the mods, Peggy Roster, Alicia coming in, everyone that's coming in, Isaiah, all of you, thank you for coming over. We're going to get into it. I've got a lot to cover here in terms of the analysis. This is the pregame review for what CU needs to watch out for when it comes to this football team. They've got some talent. I'm going to be honest with you folks on this football team. I think that they may potentially be better than the matchup against UCF. I think their quarterback is Avery Johnson. This young man right here is another dual threat quarterback. Now, I got to be honest, this young man right here has been playing great football, and they have the same record as CU. This is a team that's ranked 18th in the nation. Do you understand how important this game is? What's going on? What's going on, Dino? Up the skulls. What's going on? What's going on? Thank you. Let me put you up here. Brother. Thank you for coming over. Let me thank you for the super chat. We appreciate it. Come on over. And hey, Dino, up the skulls. This brother has a great YouTube channel. Make sure you look at his avatar, the mods. If you look at the avatar, click that avatar when you get a chance to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you get over there and subscribe to this brother's channel. He's giving me lots of love in the chat room and super chats, which I appreciate. Thank you for doing so. They get into really good, he has panels on his channel, and they get into real hard-hitting conversations about what's happening at CU, the coaching staff, the players, as well as college football in general. They have hard-hitting content over there, panel discussions, and I've gone over there to kind of listen in, and they've given me nothing but great respect, and I respect you for the super chats and coming over and giving me a little love tonight. Appreciate you, most definitely. The brother's giving me several super chats, and we appreciate that. That's what it is, folks. If you notice within the within this sector of YouTube, I think a lot of the content creators, I think we get along with each other. I don't see a lot of beefing within our sector because we're too focused on what? Football, the players, the coaching. We're too focused on what the theme is, which is college football, particularly CU, Colorado brand football. So we're focusing on that, which means we don't have time for beefing and the nonsense. So that's why I really like this sector when it comes to being able to work and engage with other content creators on these platforms. And we all show respect and love for one another in terms of this content and how we deal with one another. I think it's fantastic. Let's give a clap to that. Now, let's get it going. I will get, make sure y'all subscribe to his channel or write his name down on his channel and get over there as soon as you can. This is for everybody who watches this video right now live and those that come in as the stream goes on, and for those of you who watch this stream on the replay. But let me, for the sake of time tonight, let me please get into the analysis here. Now, I talked about Avery Johnson, the quarterback Avery Johnson, for this ranked 18th ranked football team in the nation. And if CU beats them, the truth of the matter is, if CU beats them, they have to be, in my opinion, they would be 5-1. They would have beaten their first ranked team. Therefore, I suspect that, obviously, but you know how these polls are, these AP polls and what have you, these ESPN polls can be tricky. To me, they have to be within that ranking, that top 25 ranking, if they beat, obviously, if they beat K-State this upcoming weekend, which they are more than capable. Now, this young man you see right here, as I said before, he's a dual threat quarterback. He can run and pass. He's been playing good football over the last few weeks. And I got to be honest, we as a football team this year, CU has had some problems with containing these scrambling quarterbacks, or these quarterbacks who run with a purpose. Even though we beat UCF last week, we gave up way too much yardage. Tell me if I'm wrong or right. We gave up way too much yardage to UCF. And the guy that we're getting ready to go up against in Avery Johnson is a much better runner. He's more shrewd with the football and a better passer with the football. I just got to be honest about what we're dealing with this football team. Let me just give you some breakdown. K-State football defense was one of the best last year, okay, in the country. Now, this is the thing that last year they were a 9-4 football team. They played in the Copper. They capped the season by playing in the Pop-Tart Bowl, in which they played against North Carolina State in Orlando, Florida. And they beat that team 28-19 to win that bowl, okay? Now, their secondary, they're bringing back 8 starters from last year. Particularly their secondary is in the Big 12, was one of the best in the Big 12. Their defense gave up 21 points per game, and they were 3rd in total defense just a year ago. They allowed an average of 372.5 yards. Okay, this is K-State. This is what they did last year. I'm looking at the stats here. K-State also was the 3rd best defense in the red zone, meaning they didn't give up red zone touchdowns. When you talk about the red zone, that's when you're at the goal line and you're in a situation where you can score. They call it the red zone for those of you who may not be aware of that lingo. And K-State was very stout against the red zone in terms of giving up points. okay? They limited their opponents to about 78.8% success rates with only 13 of 26 scoring results when it came to touchdowns, ladies and gentlemen. So this is a team that's bringing back some starters. They are an experienced team. Another thing that I realized about this football team that I want to bring up, and this is data, everybody. And you know, over here, I give you the analysis. I give you the data. This is very important. Kansas State has won the last 8 games in 3 straight seasons. So in 3 straight seasons, they have at least won 8. They've won 8 games. So technically, they haven't really had, other than the fact of going to a national championship, they really haven't had losing seasons, consistently having losing seasons. And they bring back an experienced team. The Wildcat, this K-State Wildcat team, they were 13th in the power, in terms of Power 4 schools. They were ranked 13th when it came to Power 4 schools to boost, okay? Kansas State has been ranked in all 7 of the AP polls to start this season in 2024, as they are ranked 18th overall in the country. K-State scored 28 or more points in 12 of their last 13 games. Now, when we talk about their last 13 games, they haven't played 13 games. They're talking about their winning streak, how often they win games overall as a football program and as the seasons have gone on. So what I'm saying to you is CU is going to have its work cut out for them. If they can come in with that same defense that they had last week, they're going to have a lot of success against this team if they show up and show out and put a lot of pressure on this quarterback. Now, what makes this team go is DJ Giddings. They are just like UCF. Their offense is predicated off of the run game in relationship to their quarterback, Avery Johnson, in relationship to DJ Giddings. DJ Giddings, as you see right here, is their running back. This is the man right here. DJ Giddings was ranked 3rd in rushing in the Big 12. When it came to overall Big 12 backs, he's ranked 3rd. Before the bye, before they went on this bye, because this is their situation. They are 4-1. Their biggest loss this year, K-State, everybody. Their biggest loss this year came by way of BYU. BYU beat them 38-9. So they can be beaten. But what I also noticed that's a concern for me is that they are a team that I think, because you notice CU can score because of their receiving core that consists of Jimmy Horn, LeJontay Wester, Will Shepherd, okay, Travis Hunter. You all know who I'm talking about. Amarion Miller. They have weapons. But what I noticed about this K-State team in all their games, they score a lot of points. This might be the one team that can go back and forth with CU, 1-2 punch, because CU can score quickly, but K-State can score quickly as well. I'm going to show you the reason why. They beat just a week ago, if I'm not mistaken, they beat Oklahoma State 42-29, okay? Now, Tulane, not a world beater team, but they beat Tulane 34-27. They beat Arizona 31-7. They beat UT Martin, not a world beater team, a smaller school. They beat them 41-6. What it shows is that K-State is a team that can put up points very in a hurry, but it's predicated off their running game when it comes to DJ Giddings. Now, Giddings, as I said, is 3rd in the Big 12 in terms of overall running backs. Giddings led all lead members in rushing yards with 83 carries for 604 yards. He also is tied for the lead in yards per carry alongside his quarterback, Avery, right here. What did I tell you? Avery is a running quarterback, a dual threat, can run, can throw. I think he will be the best. In terms of overall running quarterback so far on the schedule, Avery Johnson is going to be CU's most, I think he'll be the best quarterback in terms of a quarterback that can run and throw that they have had to face so far this season, outside of the quarterback that they faced in Nebraska. So he gives you that same type of ability like what Nebraska had. And Nebraska gave CU all they could handle. But I think he's a better runner, meaning I think when he runs with a purpose. And so these are things that CU is going to have to examine and face, is that they're going to have to neutralize this man right here, Giddings. If they can stop Giddings, they will be able to slow this football team down, because all the roads and all the offense runs through him first, and then Avery Johnson feeds off of that second. Both of these guys are leading the team in rushing, a quarterback and a running back. But Giddings is their bread and butter. Don't be fooled on that one. He's their bread and butter. Let me also say this right here. This is what makes Giddings so dangerous, everybody, right here. K-State tailback DJ Giddings is averaging this year 120.8 yards a rush. The guy is the real deal, okay? Now, when we talk about being able to stop the run, let me put up a statistic that's going to be a very big surprise to all of you listening in the chat room. I thank you for being here. Rakim, I see you. Everybody, thank you. I see you. Everybody, Gear, I see you for being here. Shirley is here. Jeanette Fox, thank you. Alicia, thank you. Is that Devin G? If I'm saying that, Connect G, thank you for coming over. But let me give you something that I just found out. I just realized today, and I dug this up. Do you know that Colorado's defense is one of the 6 programs in the country, in the nation, that has yet to allow 100-yard rushing or receiving? I'm going to say it again. Colorado, this is why you know that the defense has improved. You didn't see these numbers last year. Colorado is ranked as one of the number 6 teams in the nation out of all college football teams that has not given up 100 yards in receiving to nobody. 100 yards, meaning no receivers that we've played so far. We've given up 100 yards to receivers. That's a credit to the secondary, okay? And that's a credit to who? Robert Livingston and the coaching job that he's been putting up. Let's give credit where credit is due. Let's give credit. Robert Livingston has done an outstanding job in the defenses that he was calling in that last game. He's going to have to call an even bigger one. But one of the things that I'm confident about is that because K-State is a very strong running team, that's their bread and butter. That's also the bread and butter of our football team. We have yet to give up 100 yards to any running back so far. Our biggest test was 2 weeks ago against UCF, and we were able to hold them to no running back has gotten 100 yards rushing against us. Nobody. I'm going to read this again. Colorado defense is one of 6 in the nation that has yet to allow 100 yards rushing or receiving. You can't be a bad defense and be ranked 6 in that category. And this is the thing that's crazy about it. CU was able to do this with guys being out, injured. Shadozi was out the last game. Well, no, Shadozi played in the last game against UCF, but he did not play in the previous games before. Shadozi was not 100%. He flew around. He made his presence known, but I suspect that Shadozi will be more effective against this team this week because he's had time to rest. Another thing, we haven't had Shallow. You put Shallow in the game, and now you bring another guy in who's a thumper, a guy that's a hitter, a guy that can make some serious things happen. Okay, let me let you hear what Shadozi had to say. Let's go into the reaction studio here and let you hear what he had to say I want you just to hear what he had to say, because I thought it was fantastic stuff here, what the young man had to say. Let's go in here. I appreciate everybody that's here tonight listening. You know, Shedeur is doing his thing to prepare for the upcoming game. You know, he's ready to go for this upcoming game. And let's go back. Let's go into the studio here. And let me give you a little taste of Chidozie. I'm glad that we're going to have him back. I think he's going to be more effective. He's a guy that's sort of the leader of that defense, and as Coach Prime has said, and to have him back ready for this game, to have Shallow back for this game, to have some guys that have had time to rest up. We're coming in full force against a team that likes to run, likes to cause havoc in the running game. And if we can neutralize their running game, make them a one-dimensional team, and force Avery Johnson, who can throw the ball, but force him to be more of a passer than a runner. This is going to be a tough task, because I've watched video on this kid, and he likes to run all over the place and make these off-scripted plays, just the way Shedeur likes to make off-scripted plays and make big things happen. Let me let you hear what Chidozie had to say right here. This is fair use, everybody, and check this out.
You guys have faced a lot of teams that want to run the ball. Do you feel like each week you kind of face that similar challenge? You guys are getting stronger in that area?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. If it was me, I'd do the same thing. If I was a head coach at another school, I want to run the ball too. But we definitely getting stronger each and every week.
Stop it there. Chidozie said that they're getting stronger. Do you know how scary that is? That if CU is getting stronger, getting guys back healthy, he looks good right there. I think that if they can come in, I'm going to say this again, for the cheap seats at the ball game, for the expensive cheap seats at the ball game, if they neutralize this guy here, DJ Giddings, if they make him a non-factor, stop him. Don't allow him to get 100 yards rushing. This defense has already shown that they can neutralize the receivers from getting 100 yards and running backs. Do to him what you did to UCF's running back last week, who told us in a press conference that nobody can stop him. Stop this man, and you disrupt this K-State offense. Their offense, I'm going to say it again, their offense is predicated off of what this guy does right here.
Tell the truth.
You stop this man, you stop every damn thing.
Seeing different blocking schemes and stuff like that, it's getting us better, knowing that we are a young D-line. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Chidozie, just from observing you, seems like you're a guy who's, isn't afraid to speak his mind, especially, in that position room, one of the leaders. How challenging is that in a quick turnaround, one school to another school, to assume that kind of position and get comfortable, or is that just who you are?
I would say it's just who I am, because where I was at the University of Houston, I was the young guy, and I was around a whole bunch of older guys like Logan Hall, Payne Turner, guys like that. And just transitioning over, being at Colorado now, it's just easier, because I understand the younger guys. I understand where they're coming from, because I was also that guy that didn't know how to do certain blocks, how to play certain blocks, that got frustrated at times. So
as Coach Prime said, that Chidozie has become a leader on this football team and a leader on this defense.
Know how to talk to him and stuff like that,
Chidozie, how's it going, man?
I appreciate everybody that's here watching in the chat, supporting the channel tonight.
Their identity right now is number 31, their running back, DJ Giddings. How much is
DJ Giddings
on you guys up front to, make your presence felt and,
I mean, it's just going to come down to alignment, assignment, and technique. That's really all there is to it, It's being where you're supposed to be where your feet at, doing everything right, do the right thing. Don't be stingy, don't be nosy. Don't just stay in your gap and dominate. It will be fun.
Pat Graham, Associated Press. You were part of the team. You helped turn around Houston when you were there. I think you were 12-2 one year. What are some of the maybe hallmarks or maybe ingredients you're seeing at CU that is allowing you guys to go 4-1 and start the turnaround here?
I would say, as far as the leaders on the team, just the impact that we play to all our teammates. They all believe in us, and that's what it takes to have a winning program. Everybody got to buy in and believe in one another and learn how to be a follower, because that's also how you lead.
Good point. Be a follower is also how you lead. Once again, it's about taking in the process. This team is getting better because these guys are believing themselves. And as I said at the beginning of this video, Coach Prime has been emphasizing all this week going into this game, that the way you practice and the way you prepare for a game is how you're going to play in the game. And I think that this is starting to really sink in with this team. Coach Prime also told these guys about you got to have to figure out ways to improve when it comes to missing tackles. We have seen the evolution of this team getting better through games where they made mistakes and didn't make tackles that should have been made and what have you. They're gonna get better. I suspect that there won't be a letdown in this game because Coach Prime is not allowing them to have a letdown in what he's preaching and what he's teaching at CU, and the coaches that are there that are preaching the same sort of process, the process of how you win, the process of how you go about working with your teammates. Chidozie, in my opinion, exemplifies this, which is why he's getting respect from his teammates and the coaches.
So,
Hey, Chidozie. Brian Howell from Bola Daily Camera. It seems like just in watching you guys that there's more confidence that you guys are gaining each week. Are you feeling
More
that?
confidence, that's right.
You know, like there was some confidence gained from CSU and then Baylor, and then you seem to play with a lot of it at UCF. Are you feeling that this team is growing in confidence?
most definitely, it just comes with preparation. That's
Right. I agree with you. Stop them with clean tackles, no face mask. Right. No horse collar, no horse collar tackles, penalties. We got to clean up the penalties. No goofy stuff. You're absolutely right, sir.
prepare each week. We just had a bye week, and it was much needed and well deserved from everybody on the team. But now that we're back, preparation. As long as we prepare right and stay together, we're gonna be fine.
You guys are
I'm gonna play a little
4-1.
bit more of
That's
this, and then I'm gonna go on to the
uncommon
next
rate
segment
in
of the
college
show.
football. And to have everything in the conference and beyond still out there for you, what's that like in the building? Just knowing that everything's in reach.
See me, I'm out of a stay humble guy.
Right. I like him to stay humble. Don't get caught up. Coach Prime also said that in his press conference that he's telling these young men, don't get caught up in the hype. Stay focused in the process.
4-1 is great, but we can do better, and we know we leave stuff on the table each and every game. So that's what we focus on, getting better each and every game. And the winning 4-1 record is great, though. Don't get me wrong, but we just strive for better.
Strive for better.
Chidozie, Adam Ostertiger, 24/7 Sports. How have you taken to the coaching from D. Lou and Coach Sapp, and what are some of the things they've kind of added to your game?
All right.
I just soak everything.
Let me take that off of here right now. One of the things I'm concerned about, and I said this before, everybody, I am still very concerned about their quarterback because, as I said before, DJ Giddings is a guy that they got to watch out for. But this guy right here, Avery Johnson, guess what? He also leads the team in rushing, and he put up his YPC was 7.3. The guy moves around, makes plays. Now, when it comes to his quarterbacking skills, he's one of 3 Power 4 quarterbacks with at least 800 yards passing, everybody. Another 300 yards rushing. This season, not last season, but this season. He's thrown for 9 TDs on the season, and he's ran for 2 more touchdowns out of that, okay? The Wildcats are averaging 6.93 yards per carry, which is second in the country. I'm going to repeat this again. We're going to repeat this again because this is what we want them to stop. Stop their running game. Neutralize some of these key guys. I'm going to say this again. The Wildcats, as a football team, are averaging 6.93 yards per carry, which is second in the country. They had 8 runs that have gone for 30 yards. So they are a team that is they are explosive. They are similar to CU, where they can make big plays.
Information
Is power. They can make big plays within a short amount of time. Same thing that CU does. Keep that in mind. Let me give you a video clip of this young man, the quarterback for K-State, who I got to give him respect. He showed a lot of respect for Shador, and what CU is capable of doing. And let's hear what he had to say right here.
With our offensive line, opening up holes for them, and really just doing a great job in the run game. And obviously, Coach Riles that's his forte is offensive line and run game and stuff like that. So he does a really good job with scheming the right stuff, different ways to get to the same type of runs.
So right now he's talking about the running. They are predicated on the running game. He's talking about how his coach schemes up teams. They are scheming, right? And they've been scheming what they want to do against CU. CU will be ready. I feel confident in what I observed in their practice, watching videos this week, that CU is going to be ready. They're going to be hungry and focused because Coach Prime is trying to maintain their focus. Because when you come off of a big emotional win as they did 2 weeks ago, you don't want to see the team have a letdown emotionally. And actually, there's two ways you can look at buys. Buys can actually make a team rusty, or buys can keep you, or not having a buy can keep you going with your momentum. But check this out. Both football teams are coming off of a 4-1 record, with both coming off of a bye. So they're stepping on the field this Saturday in equal footing. Let's continue this. Check this out.
And our offensive line opens up holes for DJ, and the biggest thing DJ does is he doesn't let one person bring him down. It's gonna take more than one guy to get him on the ground, and his yards after contact has to be something probably insane, because he's really effective after that first tackle.
Now that's the area that that's the area that CU will definitely have to target. Is in this game, just like you said, sir, you can't have missed tackles, you can't have slip ups. This is a running back that once he gets his hands on the ball, why he's effective is because it's his yards after contact. His yak yards after contact, meaning this is a guy who breaks tackles, shreds people. And so I think that CU, to be effective against their running game, slow this guy down by tackling fundamentals. None of this bumping tackle. Tackle and wrap this guy up. Wrap him up.
Tell the truth.
All right, let's continue.
Or he makes that first tackle or miss.
Coach Klieman mentioned that Colorado likes to bring a lot of pressure, and I know that their defense has sort of been known to be incredibly aggressive, at getting to the quarterback. What have you seen from, I guess, their pressure looks, and what challenges does that present for the quarterback?
I think the biggest thing is watching Colorado over the last week or so is they're really a talented bunch, and like you said, they do like to bring pressure. The biggest thing for us is we have to do a really good job of preparing for that this week. What are ways we can get the ball out of my hand quick if they do want to bring pressure, and what are other ways we can identify the pressure before it happens to be able to pick it up, so that we don't have any miscommunications between the offensive line and me and the running back, so that we can get those things squared away pre-snap, so that we are able to be as effective as we want to be post-snap.
So, ladies and gentlemen, what CU really wants to do, what CU should be trying to do against this team, is they should be trying to create as much disruption as possible. We're talking about real disruption. They have an offensive line that works pretty well hand in hand with their running game, the quarterback. So the strength of this football team, as we said before, the running game. And then they have an offensive line that is in sync with the quarterback, their running back. What CU needs to do, I'm going to say again, is what they've been doing. Put pressure on the quarterback. Cause him to question his decisions. Make the running back know that he's going to have a long day. He's going to take a lot of hits, and those hits are going to hurt. And make him think about whether he wants to keep running that ball and taking those hits. I think they're going to have to come into this game and set the tone. I'm looking for CU to come into this football game and set the almighty tone and standard. Do not let K-State come into Folsom. Now, one of the advantages that I do like is that we're not playing in K-State. We're playing in Folsom Field with our crowd to pump this team up. That's fantastic. But do not let K-State come into Folsom Field and dictate the terms of how this game is going to go. Don't let them do that. Let's go back over. I want to go over something real quick too, as I get back to the video clips. Another player that we need to be a little concerned about, or at least realize, is that they got a pretty good receiver. And this young man right here, Jay Brown. Brown's their number one receiver, number one. The guy is pretty talented, makes a lot of things happen. So they definitely want to watch out for what he brings to the table, okay? They've got 8 starters coming back, and they got their secondary. They got a lot of these starters that are coming back in their secondary that CU is going to have to be aware. Now, I don't think that K-State has matched up. I'm going to say this again. I've been saying this. I don't think K-State has played a secondary in the Big 12 or even outside the Big 12 the likes of what they're about to match up against this Saturday at night, the night game, okay? I don't think Oklahoma State has a receiving core better than ours. Tulane, definitely. Arizona, I don't think their receiving core is better than ours. They played against UT, Martin. These are small schools. They don't have this kind of talent. The most talented team that they might have played against was BYU. So I always look at that like, what do we have that they have not matched up with yet? They haven't matched up with the likes of a Travis Hunter. They're going to have to figure out, do they double team Travis Hunter? I think Coach Chris Klieman has said that he thinks that Jimmy Horn Jr., he especially talked about Jimmy Horn Jr., he thinks that Jimmy Horn Jr. is outstanding. Jimmy Horn Jr. has had some slow starts in the last few games. We need Jimmy Horn to come alive in the way that he came alive in the first game of the season. What do you all think in the chat room listening? If you agree with my analysis so far, don't go nowhere. I've got more goodies for you on this show tonight. This is the Prime Sports Media program. We give you the damn analysis. We give you the breakdowns. We give you the numbers. We give you the figures. We give you the game plan. What do you think about it? Put 7s in the chat room if you agree. What do you think about what I'm saying to you? Even though K-State is ranked the 18th team in the country, they haven't played a team like CU yet with the offense, and they haven't gone up against a quarterback the likes of Shedeur Sanders. And we got players coming back that we didn't have playing. They haven't matched up with someone like Travis Hunter. They haven't matched up with someone like Shiloh Sanders coming back, or a Stoudemire, or a Cameron Craig. They haven't matched up with him. They haven't had to deal with a DJ McKinney or BJ Green. They haven't matched up with these guys. Our linebacking core has been doing a great job. Hill Green is all over the goddamn place. Bentley is all over the place. So I feel like there's no reason why, if you are a CU fan, if you are a supporter of this program, there's no reason for us to go into this game this week and be nervous. Of course, once again, the ESPN and the mainstream rags have it wrong again. This really pisses me off, but I understand there's haters. Right now, this is the matchup prediction according to ESPN analysis. They got K-State with a 52.1% chance of beating CU. These odds are actually better. They gave CU better odds this week against this team, then you see, they don't know what they're talking about. They're giving CU 47.9% to be able to beat this team. And this team, you can make an argument, is better than UCF. But last week, they had UCF running the muck over us. They had the numbers higher. So just tell you that they don't know what they're talking about. But everybody has CU losing this game. Everyone thinks that everyone thinks that K-State's going to mop the floor with CU. K-State has not played against a team as the likes are as good as CU so far in their schedule, as far as I'm concerned. But at the same time, the only way I can see K-State being effective against us is if we don't stop DJ Giddings from running all over the place. If we don't keep this young man in check, it's going to be a very tough football game if we don't somehow disrupt the rhythm of what this team is very rhythm-like. We got to disrupt their rhythm because they're certainly going to try to disrupt the rhythm of CU. Let me go ahead and show you some more. So as I said before, Jay Brown is their receiver. Pretty good young man. Then their secondary, you see two guys right here. The two guys you see here is Desmond. Number 32 is Desmond. He's a linebacker. Pretty damn active as a linebacker. The other young man that you see, number 21 on the other side, is a senior free safety. Number 21, free safety. Okay, Marquise started in 12 games as a free safety as a junior after transferring from North Dakota State, a North Dakota prospect, huh? He tied for the team lead in 63 tackles, including 3 for losses with an interception and no 10 pass breakups. Okay? Now, Marquise is a converted cornerback. He had his struggles and early, but developed into an elite defender by the end of the season. So he's been with this team for a little while. He's a senior. Been able to do some damage. This guy right here, Desmond, we put him up, is their safety. A guy that can cause some problems. Yeah, he's the linebacker. Let me correct what I'm saying. He's a linebacker. Now check this out. In 13 games last year, Desmond, as a sophomore, received all conference honors mentions after recording 47 tackles, 3.5 for a loss. With half sacks and interceptions, he had a career high 7 stops against Central Florida and had his half sack interceptions against TCU. This is the man that you're seeing on the screen. This is Desmond, who is their linebacker, number 32. He's a linebacker. This young man right here is a young man, Marquise, who I was talking about, who is the free safety. Converted from, I think he can play some cornerback, some free safety, and what have you. Then they have another young man at cornerback right here. This is Jacob Parrish. Okay, Jacob Parrish is one of their vocal leaders on their defense. He received second-team all-conference honors. All-conference honors from the Big 12 and 12 coaches. In 2023, he was first year. In his first year as a starter, he led the Wildcats with 87 tackles, 10 for a loss, 1.5 sacks and interceptions. That's the guy that you see on the screen right there. That's Jacob Parrish. That is their cornerback. Another concern that we have to be at least aware of. Another key player here, this is Austin Moore, linebacker. He's their linebacker. He's the guy that, makes their tough plays. And just wanted to just run down a little bit of this. I just wanted to put up some key guy. Here's a guy right here who is another key competitor, Number 38, this is Brandon Moat. He's their defensive end. This guy started in 10 of 14 games, recorded 6.0 sacks, played opposite the Kansas City Chief first-round draft pick. So they had a guy that was on the team that he played opposite of just as a junior in 2022. He must have redshirted somewhere down the line here. That's Moat. That's their defensive and one of their key players on defense. I just wanted to run down some of these things right here just to give you guys an overall fact that we're not playing against a scrub team, but we're playing against a team that does have some skilled players on defense, some skilled players on offense, and we're gonna have to neutralize them. And this is the thing: none of the guys that I just named have faced a receiving core quite like the one that CU has. Okay. Jacob Parrish hasn't faced a Travis Hunter or a Jimmy Horn or a Amari Miller or a Will Shepard. They haven't faced them. The linebacking core, their linebackers are going to have to be able to cover the receivers. They're going to have to, can they fly around and cover? That's the question we're going to find out on Saturday. That's why this matchup is intriguing to me, and it should be to you. Let's go into the reaction studio. And let's listen to some more video. And this time what I want to do is let me read something to you right here. This is from Coach Prime on his Instagram. Look around and understand that you're doing better than you used to. Mentally, you're better, and physically, it's only a matter of time before you're truly where you want to be. Stop complaining. Stop complaining. Complaining shows that you don't appreciate your progress. You're better than that. This is powerful lines here from Coach Prime. Now, another young man that I'm very excited about, because you all know, as I've been preaching this theme on this channel, that I'm impressed with Micah Welsh. And I still think that Michael Welsh, in my estimate, and let me put him up here on the screen out of respect for the young man, I still believe that Michael Welsh, in my opinion, is the overall every down back of this team based on what we have seen with the eye test. This is just my opinion. It does not negate the fact that Hayden is the man as well. Hayden is a guy that we definitely need the 1-2 punch of Hayden and Michael Welsh. If you agree with that analysis, put sevens in the chat room. Michael Welsh is important, but Hayden is very important because he's the most experienced of the two backs. And he said this week in the press conference that he feels good, he feels healthy, he feels ready to go. And let's hear from his own words, his own mouth, how he really is feeling, y'all. So let's go over here and give me 1 minute. I'm going to put this up here and let you hear what he has to say. I want to put this right here, and here we go. Here we go, everybody. Check this out.
First of all, man, it's a blessing. I got to be back out there with the guys. You know, them 2 games I missed. I hated not being out there because I wanted to help the team, obviously. And the run game, man, I feel like we're getting better each and every week. You know, Zay, Micah did a great job while I was out. Then all 3 of us last game I felt did really good in the run game.
Hey, Deion. Brian Howell from Boulder, the camera. Just curious from your perspective how the team handled balance in the bye week with, needing some time off, but also staying focused and coming back ready to go.
I mean, we have a pro mindset team, so there was no distractions during the bye week. Everybody was focused on the main goal. Everybody wanted to get their bodies right, but get away from it, but still be where your feet are.
Hey, Dallin, Pat Graham, Associated Press. Not asking you to compare the 2 programs, but you know what a contending program looks like. What about this program at 4-1 makes you feel like it's a contending program? What ingredients do you see in this team that makes it a contending team?
I mean, everybody on the team, I feel like, has a pro mindset. Everybody bashes us for bringing a bunch of portal guys here, but we brought a bunch of portal guys like that have came from winning programs on this team, and I feel like all the guys are like bringing that winning mentality to this team, and we're doing a really good job, and I can't wait to keep going.
Did you hear what he just said about how we know this, that Coach Prime, CU's been bashed about getting guys to the transfer portal, but there's some quality guys that he has gotten through the transfer portal, and we have said this over again. You must trust the process, believe in the process, believe and understand that it takes time, and this was the trip right now. They're a 4-1 team. They beat this team they beat K-State on Saturday night. That puts, obviously, unless there's a lot of bias by the mainstream, CU should automatically be in the top 25 rankings. That would put them at 5-1. They would have beaten the team that everybody thinks is going to win the Big 12. Everyone thinks that it's going to be between K-State and, of course, Utah, that's been making a splash so far since they've come into the lead. A lot of people have been putting their money on K-State. K-State has a history of winning, at least, as I said before, 8 consecutive games, at least in their season in the Big 12. Last year, they were 9-5 and went to a bowl game. If CU beats them and does it convincingly, and they beat the 18th ranked team, CU now needs to be automatically put up in that top 25 ranking. If you don't see that happening, you know the fix is in. Just my opinion about it. Okay?
Tell the truth.
Now they gotta win a game. But these guys that they got through the portal are now starting to pay some dividends. It's a different team, a different year, a different attitude. Only the second year, and you're seeing improvement game to game. The question is, they've got to maintain the level of play that they had a week ago and take it up a notch against K-State.
Hi, Dylan. Adam Munster-Tiger, 24/7 Sports. How are you doing physically? What kind of got you out of the mix early, and are you close to back to 100%?
Yeah, I'm definitely close back to 100% for sure. You know, nobody gonna be 100 as the season goes because, you know, you're gonna get banged up. That's just part of the position I play. But I'd say
So
I'm
let
definitely
me
getting
just
there.
say this. I do agree that Augustin, let me put him up here. Yes, give him touches. He can be explosive. We saw what he could do a week ago against UCF when they put him in the game, late in the game. He was explosive. Yes, I'm not negating that Augustin, Isaiah needs to get touches. Isaiah is a big part of I think the backs that we have, Isaiah Augustin, that you see right here, obviously. Okay. Michael Welsh and Dallin Hayden, the 3 horsemen, as I would call them, can be very effective. The question is, how many carries should they get? That's the problem. I think these guys need more carries to get themselves really in the groove of this game. I feel like if they start this game and either one of these backs that they give the football to, whether it be a Michael Welsh, Hayden, or our man Isaiah, if you start giving them the ball and they're having success early on, don't stop giving them the ball. Don't give them the ball and let these guys run the ball well and then bring some. No, go with the hot hand. It's like playing poker. Go with the hot hand. I want to see them increase the carries for these backs. Increase them with a guy that shows he's got the hot hand.
Here's Simeon, Scuba Sports. You've spoken on the Coaching for Literacy charity that you've contributed to in the past. When you got in the end zone for your first time as a Buff,
Yeah,
against
Bentley's
UCF,
a good
does that
linebacker.
mean a little bit extra to you?
Yeah, I mean, of course it means a lot to me because that charity is a big thing back home for me and, you know, holds a special place in my heart. Actually, my mom went to an event that they held back home when I was in Florida for me since I was absent. So, yeah, they always hold a special place in my heart.
Dallin, on film, you're doing a lot more gap scheme stuff than when a lot of the other guys are running. Is that?
So they're asking Dallin Hayden, is he doing more what they call gap scheme running? Listen again.
Since I was absent, so yeah, they always hold a special place in my heart.
Dallin, on film, you're doing a lot more gap scheme stuff than when a lot of the other guys are running. Is that what goes into that? Is that a style that you're more comfortable with?
I mean, you know, those are just I just run the plays that I call, you know. But I would say I'm comfortable with those type of schemes. But you know, I just execute the plays that's called.
In practice, just going up against your defensive line, Chidozie over there, just how have you seen that defensive line room kind of improve in terms of stopping the run?
They doing a great job, and you know, last game they made a statement. You know, stopped one of the best running backs in the conference, and
Last week, they stopped one of the best running backs in the conference at UCF. They're getting ready to go up against arguably one of the best, if not the best so far, that they're going to match up with, and DJ Giddings. This is a fact. We're not going to deny it. This guy is the real deal. If you've had a chance to watch K-State and watch what he's able to do, the dude is a real deal. And they got to have to, I'm going to say it again, they've got to wrap him up. He is a master. He is a monster at getting guys off his body.
I trust those guys each and every week, and they're going to keep going.
They're going to get better. Yeah. Yeah.
Down, you obviously play a role in pass protection as well.
All right. This is good stuff, everybody. You know, I like what's happening. Let's hear from their coach, Chris Klieman. Let me let you hear what their coach had to say as it relates to the matchup this upcoming week. Check this out. Check this out.
A little bit to look at Colorado. What are your biggest concerns with the Buffaloes?
There's a lot of concerns that we have. Obviously, go to the offensive side, and I think Sanders will be the first quarterback picked off the board. He should be. In the film that I've seen of a lot of the top guys, I think he's an excellent thrower. You can't really confuse him. I've seen a lot of different teams try to manipulate coverage and disguise, and he does a really good job pre-snap to post-snap. And he can make all the throws and has a lot of guys to throw the football to. And then on defense, they're going to be aggressive. We're going to see probably a lot of man coverage and some pressure, and so we have to be able to win in man coverage, and we have to be able to find ways to run the football.
Chris, what was the best thing that happened to your team during the bye week, you think?
Getting the guys that have been here 5 and 6 years a break. The amount of reps that they had taken since the 1st of August or the end of August when we started playing games, the guys that have been around that everybody knows about. We practiced those guys, but we were really smart with those guys and didn't have them out on the grass as long to try to get their bodies recovered because they've played a lot of snaps of football. And then on the flip side of that, our opportunity to work with a lot of younger players, whether they're freshmen or pretty young or new to the program, to develop those guys. And
let me stop right there. Let me move it up a little bit. Let me see.
Do have that need this season.
Obviously unusual in that he plays both ways. From your perspective, when's the last time you looked at a player and thought he could play Iron Man football?
Just doesn't happen a lot right now. There's probably a handful of guys, not a ton. There's probably a handful of guys that could do that. But to do it at the high level, we talked about that last week.
Thank you, everybody, for
He's
being
doing it
here
at
and
such
watching.
a high
I
level
really
on both
appreciate
sides of the
everybody out
ball.
there watching. Thank you.
And playing fast on both sides of the ball, and it's really impressive to watch. Because he's making plays in both phases and big-time plays. He's not a role player on either side. He's a dynamic impact player on both sides.
Quarterback, is his ability to run and extend plays? I mean, he seems to be a very good scrambler.
Yeah.
How much of a challenge does that present to you?
It is. I mean, we have to have really good rush lanes. He is going to scramble, in my opinion, to throw, and does a tremendous job of keeping his eyes downfield. But he's athletic enough that when he does scramble to run, he can hurt you. And
I suspect that they're looking at the video, and they're saying to themselves, "We got to disrupt Sanders, Shedeur Sanders. He's the guy that makes it all run." I suspect that they have looked at how other teams have been able to remember On the unfortunate stat, everybody, is that CU has given up 16 sacks on Shador this year, even though they've made improvement in the offensive line. And offensive lines take time to gel. I think ours is certainly gelling. But I got to give you this. I got to put these numbers out here because this is about the analysis. I've got to put this out here. The Wildcats are currently tied for the lead in sacks with 12 sacks on the season, as they've shown a consistent effort in getting to the quarterback each week. They have, this is why I do the show the way I do it, everybody. Bear with me. He sat up here in this press conference and said Shador does a great job of extending the plays, which he does. They're going to have to watch the way they hit their gaps, hit their lanes. But K-State, Kansas City State, is a very good team when it comes to putting pressure on the quarterback. In every game, they have been able to put pressure on the quarterback. And they lead the Big 12 with 12 sacks on the quarterback on the year. The offensive line for CU is going to have to get it together for this game and play at the level that they played last week, but I say take a level up. If you agree with my analysis, put sevens in the chat room. This team is better than UCF, but we're actually the best team that they have faced so far this season. And we've got weapons that the other team that they played against didn't have the weapons that we have. They are vulnerable. Once again, BYU blew them out 38-9 this season. Two of the teams that they played in the beginning of their season were sort of not great teams. UT Martin, they beat them 41-6. Tulane, they beat them 34-27. Tulane gave them a run for their money. They have shown that they can put up points with teams, but they have not played a team with a quarterback like Shador, with a team that has the talent that this team has, both on defense and offense at skill position areas. So far. But I'm emphasizing this, that I'm sure Coach Prime and the coaches are drilling this, that this is a team that gets after the quarterback. We don't need Shador on the ground. We don't need Shador taking unnecessary hits. We don't need Shador. I think in this game, this is a game that Shador has to try to make something happen that's not there. But I'm also concerned with Shador sometimes holding on to the football too long. In this game, yes, make something happen, but also, brother, know when to get rid of the ball when it's nothing there for you to make. Because you're facing a team that is leading the Big 12 in 12 sacks already on the year. And they have shown a consistent pattern of getting to the quarterback every damn week.
Tell the truth.
I'm giving you the analysis. I'm not saying that CU can't compete with K-State, but they certainly have to be aware of what this team brings to the table. K-State will not be a walk in the park. And K-State is not the same team as UCF. Their running game, I think their running back is better, and I think their quarterback is way better than what they faced 2 weeks ago. I think he's a more dangerous runner of the football. I'm going to say it again. Avery Johnson has a yak of 7.3. This man has proven that he can rush for 300 yards so far this season and throw for 800 yards. He's one. Let me read this correct. He's one of 3 Power 4 quarterbacks with at least 800 yards passing and another 300 yards rushing this season. As a reminder. Okay? Now, let's go back at it in here. So I'm going to get to Coach Prime very soon. Let's hear another video clip from Coach Chris and get his perspective again on this football team that he's about to match up with, and that's CU, everybody.
What have you seen from those guys, and what challenges do they present?
I think they're really balanced, honestly, and they've rushed the football well too. Shadur throws it to the guy that's open and reads coverage and knows where he's going with the football. And if it happens to be Travis Hunter, it happens to be Travis Hunter. I think the Horn kid's phenomenal football player.
Remember I said he said that?
And they have other wide receivers and backs that can hurt you. So, for us, it's not like you're going to say, boy, we're going to put all our thoughts into one guy or put everything into the run game or everything into the pass game. We have to have tremendous balance on defense and be able to play the run when we're short and be able to play the pass when we have to load the box. I mean, there's nobody knows how this game is going to go, so we have to, the same thing, we have to have great fundamentals and techniques to whatever. I mean, there's going to be some new stuff too, that we haven't seen. So we have to do a great job of applying our rules and principles and playing really fast with the new things that we see, as well as some of the things that maybe are the staple of their offense.
So you hear what he's saying, the principles that they have to apply to playing against CU. So they're preparing themselves, and we are preparing ourselves as well. The team is preparing themselves. One more, and we're going to get to Coach Prime.
Well, DJ Giddens for starters, and the threat of Avery.
You hear it. So right here on this video, he's naming the 2 areas of the football team, as I have just said, that is their bread and butter again. Let's go back and hit this one more time because I want to drive home the point of this. And here we go.
Well, DJ Giddens for starters, and the threat of Avery, the threat of Dylan, because there's some times where we're jetting Dylan across and everybody's paying attention to it, and it opens up some.
You hear what they said? Dylan Edwards. Dylan Edwards, this is the team that he transferred to. And he said when we're jetting Dylan Edwards across, meaning when they've got him out. Remember what CU did with him? They put him out in the flat sometimes. He's good at catching the ball. He's not a physical in between the tackles guy. He's a guy that you need to be concerned of when you match him up and put him out in the flats and he catches the ball or he runs a slant or something, some kind of pattern across.
Alleys for DJ. And then our offensive line and tight ends are doing a really good job. And they're an older group, but a new group together. And
that's another area that I wanted to touch on too. This team, because of the way they run the ball, they really rely on the tight ends. And their tight ends, when you look at them on video, on film, their tight ends do a good job of blocking and opening up. They use a lot of tight end. That's why CU has got to be prepared for these formations and packages when they bring in tight ends, how they're going to run the ball down the hill, and what situations, what scenarios. Their tight ends is the area, it's the strength of the team, the running game, a dual threat quarterback. Those tight ends, the offensive line, everything is predicated off of how they want to move the ball. And and this is another concern. If they're trying to run the ball, the goal is to do what? Keep Shador off the field. When you run the ball, you eat up clock. You eat up time of possession. And you also keep the other quarterback. In this case, you keep Shador on the other side so he can't do damage. So we've got to counter that by making them do what? Give up the football. Make them 3 and out. Make them turn the ball over. Frustrate their running back. Don't let him get 100 yards. And so far, we haven't given up 100 yards to anybody in receiving or running the ball. That's CU. That's a CU stat. 6th in the country over all college teams. I'm going to repeat that for folks that are coming into the show a little bit late tonight. Let's hear this before we get to Coach Prime.
It's taken a little bit for those guys to gel. I think they're gelling. We're blocking well on the perimeter with wide receivers. So it's a collective group to say it's just.
They're blocking. They're using their wide receivers to block in the perimeter. And this is the sort of thing that you see in the NFL with teams like the 49ers, teams that run a West Coast type style offense, or teams that have an offense where if they're running the ball, you got to have your what? You have to have your receivers block as well in that running scheme. They have to buy in on blocking to also contribute to making the running game effective.
Just one person. You can never do that. It's a collective group of people that are gaining some confidence. And we have to continue to be balanced as an offense. But the only way you're balanced is by being able to do the first thing, which is rush the football.
Boom. There we go. Rush the football. This is what their strategy is going to be against CU. We've got to counter it. And I think we've got the personnel. We've got guys coming back. I think we can do it. Nobody is giving CU a window of being able to come in here. A lot of people are going with K-State on this week. A lot of folks, I think a lot of folks look at the numbers right here. Avery Johnson has 879 yards, 9 TDs. He has thrown 4 interceptions. Okay, Shedeur Sanders has 1,630 yards, 14 TDs, 3 interceptions. Okay, DJ Giddings has 83 carries for 604 yards, 2 TDs. Our man Isaiah Agustov has 24 carries for 117 yards. These are overall stats. Their receiver, K-State's receiver, Jay Brown, has 17 receptions for 277 yards for 1 TD. And our man, Travis Hunter, on the year has 46 receptions on the year, 561 yards on the year, 6 TDs.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth indeed. So that's the numbers that you heard from their coach. Let's hear from Coach Prime. Let's get some of his experience as we get ready to come to our conclusions tonight. I really appreciate everybody coming over, watching the program. Make sure you share this video in all of your social media because I really would appreciate that. Let me play Coach Prime right now. Let's get to him right now. Let you hear a little bit of Coach Prime and his analysis so far and what he's looking for and what he's liking in terms of where the team is going in its direction. Here we go, Coach Prime.
Wish you can continue to play in the realm that we were playing in, but also we had some guys banged up that needed a week off for sure. So I'm happy about it.
Hey, Coach. We talked last week. What's up, man? How are you? You talked last week about the UCF game and how the extra hours and time in the hotel led to extra film hours.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that can be a kind of like an aha moment for the players, understanding how that can affect them on Saturdays?
Most definitely. It's a moment that they definitely glean from. See, most people think you only learn from your losses, but you learn a lot from your wins. You learn a lot from successes. You don't just.
Let me say what's up to Viral Authority. Thank you for coming in. Everybody that's here, I want to let you all know that I really appreciate you coming over and being a part of the program tonight. Thank you for coming in. Castro, I see you. Wills, I see you saying fact. Thank you for sharing this live. Yeah, thank you for coming over and watching this live. Everybody, once again, before I finish up with what Coach Prime is saying right here, do me the biggest favor. Let me say one thing to you tonight. Let me say to you, thank you for watching the program so far tonight. Like and comment, leave comments in the comment section, subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell notification if you're new to the channel. Do me another big favor. Share this video on all your social media, your Facebook, your X, or your Twitter as we call it. any social media that you use, share it. If you're a content creator yourself, share it. Let people know about the channel. We appreciate it. Let's get back to Coach Prime.
Learn from when you're getting your butt kicked. I never seen a boxer get knocked out and say, I learned a lot from that, right? Like, that does not happen most of the time. And these young men they understand. I asked them a question this morning. If God were to give you what you desired in this game, what would it be? And what would you sacrifice for it? Great question. And their answer, the responses and all that I was trying to get them to understand that whatever you want in life, you're going to have to sacrifice something. If you want a lot, you're going to sacrifice a lot. It's not you sacrifice a little and you get a lot. It don't work like that. Life don't work like that. Life is pretty much consistent. Tremendous.
He's giving them life principles that go beyond football, everybody. The things that Coach Prime is talking about can be used in everybody's life.
And football has no feelings or emotions for you. So what you put in, normally you get out.
What you put in is what you get out. Same thing when he says you got to practice like you playing the
Since
game.
your win against UCF, there have been a lot of national media people, some of which you know personally, have sort of changed their tune on what you in this program can do this year. Do you guys notice that, or is noise, whether it's good or bad?
I notice that because I get it from everywhere. I really don't care, honestly, because as quick as they jump on, they can jump off. As quick as they support, they try to dismantle. As quick as they love, they could hate.
Right. The mainstream media is very, how can we say, flickle, everybody. You saw Paul Feinbaum throw Coach Prime and this program under the bus on national television. You've got people like Stephen A. Smith bumping his gums. Then as soon as they win, all of a sudden, they're flying. They want to fly high with the team. What I want everybody to know right now, remember all these people like a Paul Feinbaum or even a Stephen A. Smith. Remember how these guys criticize this football program and criticize Coach Prime and why is he getting guys in the transfer portal. And if this team beats K-State and goes on to continue to have a successful season, watch you see these same people in mainstream media. Put sevens if you agree with what I'm about to say here. Watch these same people in mainstream media jump on the bandwagon and act like they were rocking and supportive and all in on CU when all the time they were hating and now they want to join on the ride. You see the hypocrisy. Let's continue.
So I really don't.
Thank you, everybody, for those sevens. Seven. Seven is a spiritual number.
For my purposes, I definitely know who said what. For my purposes, and my sons and Darius and all.
This will be the
guys,
last video clip for tonight, everybody, as we get to conclusion of the podcast tonight.
You know, they keep me abreast of what time it is, so I know what's what. But as far as the young men, I just don't want them to believe that they arrived. All this.
Right. He doesn't. This is very interesting. He doesn't want the players on this team to get caught up in the hype and think because they beat UCF last week that this is a sign that they have arrived. Coach Prime's got the right mindset. The mindset is that the season ain't over. You got more to achieve. You're going to have more peaks and valleys. So don't set on your laurels with just this one game. You got to be hungry for more. Do y'all agree?
Hoopla about Jordan Seaton. I say, Jordan, you know, a couple plays they could have had you right there. Our DBs, you know, they threw the ball right there. They had us. So don't believe that foolishness. Work on your game and work on your craft. Be the best you could be, but don't believe the hype whatsoever. Let's keep our heads down and stay locked in.
He told Jordan, let me stop it right here. He told Jordan Seaton, as you heard him say, still work on your craft, work on your technique. Don't get caught up in the hype of the media and all the damn glamours of the lights. He's absolutely right. He told Jordan Seaton that. Jordan Seaton's a freshman, left tackle for the team, doing a hell of a job. And if you notice, this young man, Jordan Seaton, is getting better, everybody. You know how you could tell he's getting better? Look at his technique that he's employing, and also look at his eyes, how he uses his eyes, how he's moving, the techniques that he's using. That's a fact. Let's get back to Coach Prime.
Hey, Coach, Pat Graham, Associated Press. Nice to see you. Real quick, a procedural question.
Love your hat, man. Love your hat.
Well, exactly. George Brett, baby.
George Brett, I grew up on George Brett.
Okay, so Coach Prime is going to talk about how he used to, collect baseball bats and balls at the major league games and sell them off. I'm going to move this up to get to football talk, but it's pretty interesting the way he talked about his life as a child, hustling and making money off the baseballs, and how they would autograph the old baseball equipment that they would give him, and that he would sell and hustle that up. Let's go back to here.
Kid, darn 7, 8 years old, and he used to let me come in, and I help him get up the balls and pick up the balls, and he would give me several of them, and that was my hustle, man.
That was his hustle. Let me stop that right there, but I want to move on to right here. Let's get to the football talk here.
Cam is they're unbelievable together. Carter has done a wonderful job, got a lot of experience, and he's in on some packages as well, but Shallow's full go. We should have the entire starting defense this week.
All right, so you heard it. You heard it from Coach Prime himself. The whole starting defense will be in this week. He's expecting Shallow, number 21, Shallow, to be back at safety, but he says that they're still expecting to have packages, and this is what I'm hoping to see, that there will be a package for Stottlemyre to still be a factor. Here he is right here, to still be a factor in this upcoming football game. Let's hear this out again. Let's hear this out again fully. Right here.
Even though I wasn't an early round pick, but it's a lot of money from a kid that grew up 2 miles from the place in the hood. So that's my story about the Royals.
You and Bo Jackson have been perfect.
Hey, man. I don't think they'd let that happen, but.
Hey, you, Shiloh. What's the update?
He's ready. Shallow's ready. He's practicing. He's full go. Has a rubber cast on. He's doing his thing. I can't wait to see him back there because he and Cam they're unbelievable together. Carter has done a wonderful job, got a lot of experience, and he's in on some packages as well, but Shallow's full go. We should have the entire starting defense this week.
And then to kind of piggyback off
You know how important this is because they're going up against a much better football team this upcoming week, Saturday the 12th, late night game. Coach Prime has already made his concerns about these late night games that he does not like, but either here or there, they're playing a late night game in Folsom. You know it's going to be popping in the stadium. It's going to be electric. This is going to be a nationally televised game. People all over the world, all over, are going to be watching this because this is a game that really, I think, if they win this game, it really puts them in a different stratosphere to beat a ranked football team at home, move themselves into the ranking, go 5-1 with the goal to continue winning more games in the Big 12. And the goal really is to make a bowl game this year. This really will help scouting. This going to help recruiting. And also I want to say this real quick. Real quick. I did a video about Juju. There's already rumors that's out there that's flying around. As you see here, a picture of Shador giving him the keys to the car. There's already been rumors about whether USC has moved on from the young man, which opens the door for Coach Prime and CU to possibly get Juju. I gotta be honest, to see you. What do you all think about this? Another thing, it's just a side note, because we're getting close to conclusion. It's a side note. Looking through the social media, looks like the coaching staff, Coach Prime, they're trying to flip this kid right here. Hang on. This kid right here. Colorado Buffs are targeting 5-star quarterback out of Duncanville, Texas. Russell, a 6'3", 180-pound quarterback, is currently committed to Alabama in the 2025 class. Coach Shermer paid him a visit. at his school last week, and the Buffs are hoping to get him on campus soon. So that means that Coach Shermer is like, look, we got to get more talent on the team. We want to get this young man for a 2025 class. Can they pull it off? Can they pull it off, everybody? Let's go back to Coach Prime.
Can you take any lessons from 3-0 last year and apply them to 4-1 this year?
Two different teams, two different situations, two whole different thought processes, even with the staff, as well as the young man we have in this locker room. But yes, me personally, it's some things that I've done tremendously differently in my approach and to detail with the staff, as well as the young men that play on this team, as well as with the support staff as well. So we had a 6:30 meeting this morning to reiterate some things that I wanted to see on the scout teams to give us the look that we wanted and expedite the look. So yes, there has been different things from my approach, definitely. But those are totally different young men that's out there, man. What we have on defense, I think, what is it, 2 players, 3 players that started a year ago? I think that's Cam, Shiloh, and Benson, right? Coates, Shane. Yeah, 4. I'm sorry. That's it. So we have several new players that are really doing a great job for us.
He is absolutely right. I think it's been the influx of the new players from the transfer portal with a blending of guys that have come in out of high school that are getting playing time, getting some experience, getting some confidence. All of this is part of the process of where Coach Prime is trying to get this program. Now, imagine what this team is going to be like going into their 3rd year on top of. So if a lot of these guys stay with this team next year and don't jump into the portal, and then they bring in some more talent on top of what they've got, we're talking about a team that's going to be competing, y'all. This is why you can't listen to the haters.
In offense, what is it, 2? Shador Travis, Jimmy, 3.
Adu, Raheem, what's going on? Everybody in the chat room, I see you. Angel Eyes, how you doing, sister? James Hunter, how you doing?
Of you earlier this week telling your team that.
Let me read this real quick. James Hunter said, UCF running back Harvey runs just as hard as. Yep. Yeah, and the more elusive CU has short tackles, they don't miss much, and CU hits. Yeah, but I think Giddings, from what I've heard about him and what I've watched, Giddings, tell me if you disagree or you agree, I think Giddings might be a little bit better than Harvey. I mean, this guy is leading. He's the 3rd leading rusher, if I'm not mistaken, in the Big 12. I think he might be a little bit more, or should I say, the way K-State runs the game, their running game may be a little bit more effective than even UCF. But once again, this is the key to my analysis. They still haven't played a football team like CU when you look at the teams that they've gone against in comparison to what CU brings, because I don't think, when I say they haven't played a team like CU, I don't think they've played a team so far that has as many weapons, particularly on offense, that they're going to have to deal with. There's some potential issues there. Can they match up with our receivers? I don't think anybody can match up with our receivers when our receivers are at their best, and Shador Sanders has the time to make the magic happen. Do you understand what I'm saying? Let's get back to this.
You guys shouldn't be surprised that you're 4-1.
Right.
So if you could elaborate a little bit more on that message and why you felt the need to share it.
How can you be surprised that you're winning in life, Jack? How can you be surprised that you put on a nice outfit and somebody tells you you look good? How can you be surprised when you get out that barbershop and you look in that mirror and say, that's the one? Like, how can you be surprised with the expectation you have for yourself?
Mm-hmm.
The only way you can be surprised is you didn't expect it. We expect the results when we put in the work. I just don't want it going to their heads, but we shouldn't be surprised of where we are.
Right. When you put it, and look, for those of you who have been watching Well Off Media and many other platforms, this week, that was what you hear Coach Prime saying right there has been the theme that he's been saying throughout practice. When you put in the work, this is what you get. You get these kind of results. However, keep it in perspective that you should realize that you're capable of playing to this level. Don't let it go to your head, but recognize that this is the level that you should be playing at because you have the talent and you have the capability, but you got to believe in yourself.
We should
and those around you.
Be appreciative and
Right.
understanding what allowed us to be where we are.
Right.
It should be no surprise to you. So when it's a surprise, you get kind of discombobulated and you kind of.
Your prediction, D3, your prediction is that they'll win 49-14 CU. That's your number. Yeah, everybody, put your predictions in the chat room if you like. Did Coach Shermer visit Juju also? Now, I haven't heard reports about Coach Shermer visiting him, but I damn sure would like Coach Prime to do a visit of him. I think that would be even more. I think if Coach Prime made a personal visit to him, because I know he's came to see you and he had an official visit here, but I think if Coach Prime actually did a physical appearance, I think it could go a long way. Because right now it looks like it's. A lot of people were saying, nah, y'all not going to get him. It's going to be USC is a sure deal. No, it's not. No, it is not. We have a capability of getting that young man
Instead
still.
of really looking at it and dissecting why you are where you are. It shouldn't be no surprise to anybody, but I don't want them to be in lackadaisical thinking this is easy. Because the wind don't care who attains it.
Right.
Has no
That's
mind,
right,
no
Coach
memory,
Prime.
no whatsoever. Does not care.
That's right,
It might
Coach
as well
Prime.
be us if it has no care and no feelings for it.
Hey, Coach, John Treach, 9 News. A slightly different question. 4-1 is an uncommon place, and everything is out there for you, conference-wise and beyond. To have that right now, I mean, how exciting is that within your program?
It's not, because you don't expect it. I can tell the way you asked the question, but we do. we expect that. We're some of us are still upset about the Nebraska game. We
Yeah.
wish we had that right now.
Right. But that Nebraska game, I believe, in my analysis, did something to bring this team to reality check as to what they need to do if they wanted to win now. I think that game was the best thing that could have happened to them in terms of the adversity of what that losing that game did to the team. And that's where, when you lose a game like that, that's where you can see the true character of the men that you have in the locker room.
Because we felt like we weren't where we are then, where we are right now. Like, we really expect that. It's not being cocky or anything like that. That's what we expect. When we practice like we do, prepare like we do, we expect the results. And
Right.
we have some players that can really play this game at a high level. That's why scouts are here every day. We just happen to have two that, like I said previously, will probably be in the top 2 or the top 5 draft picks. And everybody disputed that, didn't they?
Coach Prime, you're absolutely right. A lot of people had a lot of things to say about that and said you being too cocky and you giving these predictions about Shador and where he's going to be drafted. And, man, maybe you shouldn't say these sort of things. But everybody's eating their words right now because he's right. It's not that scouts don't go to other programs in the country. Yeah, they do. The scouts go to all the big schools that they want to see the talented players that stand out. But Coach Prime is just simply saying, we've got scouts that are down here watching our players and evaluating them. And that shows you that Coach Prime is getting good players in the program if he's got scouts showing up and want to examine the players in practice that they think may be good prospects for the next level.
I can't get no help in the church over here. Didn't they dispute that? Get some help over here in the church. I know not to look at that side anymore. They disputed that. Hey, he don't know what he's talking about. Now it is what it is. You start seeing this stuff become a reality. It's real. And we didn't speak it into existence. We know what we see. I know this game. You got to give me some kind of credit for knowing this game of football. I played it for 14 years. I covered it for 20 years. I covered it more than some of you guys have covered it. And I know television, I know this game, I know people, I know management, I know what my expectation is. I know how this thing is supposed to look. So I call a spade a spade. Great question, though. Appreciate it.
Coach Prime, boy, you putting it on.
How you doing, sir?
There go Will Shepard right there, y'all, when he came over from Vanderbilt.
I'll follow up on something you just said. You have 3 of the top 10 players in college football, and Travis is 2 of them. And that's
well said.
So now I'm going to go beyond that. We've seen from Travis things that we've seldom seen in college football.
True.
We saw from you in baseball and football things we seldom have seen from an athlete. Is Travis more talented as an athlete than you were?
It's not me against Travis.
Yeah, you know, I hate how the media wants to damn it. Coach Prime had his time in the sun as a college player at Florida State, a professional player in Atlanta, Georgia, with the Falcons and the 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys. I think he played a little bit for the Washington football team as well. Near the end of his career, he played with the Atlanta Braves for a minute, you know. I don't understand why here you have a young player in the 21st century in Travis Hunter, and all they want to do is try to make this comparison between Travis and Coach Prime with this whole theme is he better? I mean, I really wish the media would stop this type of comparison. I mean, first of all, Coach Prime played in a different era of football. Football was played different than it is now. You can't even hit anybody anymore now. Let's be honest. Football is not the same today as it was when he played. But here they go with the comparisons, and here's Coach Prime setting it straight.
I had my turn, man. I'm not a doorknob anymore. You can't just turn me on and off for like a light switch anymore. I don't do that. Travis is everything. It's his turn now. I want him to have all the accolades, all the praise, all the love, all the attention, all the focus that he desires. I had my turn. I'm that old boxing coach in the corner. It says left, right, hit him right here. All right. Come on up to the corner. Let me tell you that's who I am right now.
Right, Coach Prime.
It's not me.
Tell the truth.
Do you see some of your?
I see.
But you see how the media plays these games. Now you want to pit coach against player about who was better. It's like, please stop it. Let Coach Prime be the coach. Let Travis be the player that he is. Let's just stop it. This is the type of nonsense. It's just like the same nonsense where they do this whole thing about who's better, LeBron or Michael Jordan, who's the GOAT. We already know who's the GOAT. Stop trying to create stop trying to create GOATs that ain't GOATs yet. Travis Hunter still has a long way to go. He's still playing college football. He's still got to get to the pro level, and he's going to have to be able to prove he can play at high level there too. Let the man enjoy where he is right now. Right now, he's one of the best players in college football. And remember, everybody in the chat room, if you remember this by putting 7s in the chat room, remember how everybody laughed at him for going to Jackson State with Coach Prime? People were laughing and saying, what the hell is he doing going to that little small HBCU school? Guess who has the last laugh right now? It's Travis Hunter. Bo Smith says that T.O. used to fall for the media tricks. Yeah, that's the difference. T.O. would fall for that stuff, and it would trigger him. But I think these kids today, like a Travis Hunter, I don't think Travis Hunter's going to go for that nonsense. I think these kids today are different. I think they're more savvy with dealing with the media. You know why? Because of social media, because they got their cell phones and they're used to interacting and all these sort of things. These kids can handle this media better. They are prepared for it more because there's so much more scrutiny around these young players today, even more so than when Coach Prime played. I just think that when he played, it was a tougher game because they actually let you tackle. Today, it's like they don't even let me stop that soapbox right there, everybody. Let's get back to some more of Coach Prime, and then I'm going to get ready to conclude our podcast tonight.
In certain areas.
Thank you for those
Especially
sevens. I
away from the
appreciate
game.
those sevens.
Especially
And
if you
everybody
mean
that's
what
here
you-
tonight. It's been a
I
wonderful
absolutely
turnout
love
tonight.
it, and I love who he is in the game. We don't smoke, we don't drink.
I do. I see you. I
not
do.
profane.
Castro, I
He's a
see
really,
you.
Really, really good young
Welcome
man.
on board,
A really good young man.
Bro
You don't-
Smith. I appreciate you coming over.
contrary
Alicia, I
to
see
what
you.
You may think, and this is not a shot at any other program.
Willis says facts.
And
I
God
thank you.
forbid
I
that
thank
it
all of you for coming
transpires,
over and
but
sharing your love tonight.
Our kids ain't getting in trouble, man. We got some good young men in this locker room.
Now, I think this is key what Coach Prime is saying, that his players are not getting in trouble, but you don't hear them doing stories about that. Now, if Coach Prime, remember that idiotic reporter who was trying to make up some noise about what was happening in the locker room and all this stuff, some talk about weapons and guns and all, and ended up being a farce. See, as soon as something does happen negative, the media will be all over it. They'll report that 24/7. But you don't see them reporting anything positive that's happening on the football team and in the locker room with these young men. That shows you something else. Let me read real quick for the sake of time, because I'm going to get ready to end the podcast like almost right now. But let me hear what James Hunter says. Every team is good until CU beats them. Even when recruits come to CU, ranking services drop the players by 1 star and lower their value. Now, Mr. James Hunter, are you saying that they're doing this because when these kids are choosing to go to CU, that they're purposely dropping their ranking? That shows you that there's an implicit bias, sir, against CU, Coach Prime, and the players that come here. Angel Eyes, thank you for the sevens. My man, I really appreciate you, brother, for coming over saying strap the comment. Hey, brother, I do. Raheem, if I'm saying your name correct, with all respect to you, brother, as a Muslim brother, thank you for coming over. Thank you for showing your strong support tonight. Alicia, thank you. Appreciate you for coming over. Everybody that's here. I'm going to get ready to close this whole thing out because it's getting late for everybody across the country. But let me just play just a little bit more of Coach Prime, just a little bit more. Just a little bit more.
And I think they should be applauded, regardless of what you say or think about them, regardless of how they perform or how they don't perform this week. They get it right and perform the next week. And they're not getting into trouble. And guess what? The GPAs are tremendous. I just checked them and got on a couple of their butts. But they're doing a great job, and I'm proud of them. I'm proud of the coaches, and I'm proud of the academic team for the standard that they've set.
Now, everybody, why is it that you don't see any of these coaches? You don't see anybody in this mainstream media, a Paul Feinbaum with his bald-headed self? Why is it that nobody talks about the fact that Coach Prime has a team with players that are getting good grades? They're not getting in trouble. There's no drama. They tried to stir up drama on this team before the season started as a distraction to cause problems. It turned out to be a farce. But Coach Prime is making good points here. There's never any mention of that type of stuff. And so I got to give Coach Prime a football right here for being a coach that thinks about the bigger picture.
Tell the truth.
Okay? Once again, they're playing this upcoming weekend. Let me put this up here for everybody to see. Even if you've seen it before, I'm still going to put it up here because, I think it's good stuff. Once again, Colorado versus Kansas State will be nationally televised on ESPN. All of Colorado's games have been nationally televised. It's going to be a night game. Coach Prime is not fond of these night games. There's some articles out where he's made criticisms of why are they having these weird night games. He doesn't like the timing of them in terms of how they schedule them. But it is what it is because they're going to be playing before their own home crowd. It's going to be home cooking. It's going to be electrifying out there in Folsom Field. I'm going to be watching it. You're going to be watching it. Hopefully, my goal for this upcoming weekend, everybody, is that once the game is over, I would like to do a post-game show right after that game that night. So be on the lookout for that. If I, for whatever reason, don't do a post-game show that night, for whatever the reasons, I will do a post-game show after it and give you a post-game show. But I'm hoping to do a post-game show this upcoming Saturday. I hope that you all are doing well. Tell somebody in the chat room. Give respect to people in the chat room. You guys have been a great crowd tonight, great audience tonight. Tell somebody in your personal life that you love them, that you care about them. Give somebody a hug because we are all not promised the next day. Let me read this quote again from Coach Prime on his Instagram. Look around and understand that you're doing better than you used to. Mentally, you're better, and physically, it's only a matter of time before you're truly where you want to be. Stop complaining, because complaining shows that you don't appreciate your progress. You're better than that. That's a quote from Coach Prime. I love it. Appreciate you all out there. Appreciate you. We're going to get ready to get on out of here, everybody. Peace. I appreciate you all. Peace. Football for you. For all the people watching, this is a football for you. We'll be back on this upcoming weekend, hopefully. It's going to be a great game. This is Prime Sports Media, everybody. I appreciate you again.
Staying on my mind on the
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you all. Thank
you. Right now. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, right now. I've been feeling like a loner lately. Been a minute since I woke up feeling sober. When awake, I'm seeing nightmares. Sleeping, you are right there like you never left. And I am hoping that you might care. Change on me. What about us? What about the times when I feel like I could trust? Yeah, now I'm on a chase for the same shit. I hear the sirens in the lake and wanna chase them. Beauty on the out, but I'm surrounded by the fake shit. Beasts in a maze. Sing about freedom like a bird in a cage. That's a whole different pain. Calling up my homies and it's hard to explain. Yeah, it's hard to explain. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, right now. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, right now. I wonder if you're social lately. I wonder if you're always fucking sober or emotional roller coaster, barely coasting, hardly coping. Wanna call me, but you never push that motherfucking button. Change on me. What about us? What about the times when you feel like you can trust? Yeah, now you wanna chase for the same shit. You hear the sirens in the lake and wanna chase them. Beauty on the out, but you're surrounded by the fake shit. Beasts in a maze. Sing about freedom like a bird in a cage. That's a whole different pain. Calling up your homies and it's hard to explain. Yeah, it's hard to explain. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, right now. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, right now. like a loner lately. Been a minute since I woke up feeling sober. When awake, I'm seeing nightmares. Sleeping, you are right there, like you never left. And I am hoping that you might care. Change on me. What about us? What about the times when I feel like I could trust? Yeah, now I'm on a chase for the same shit. I hear the sirens in the lake and wanna chase them. Beauty on the out, but I'm surrounded by the fake shit. Beasts in a maze. Sing about freedom like a bird in a cage. That's a whole different pain. Calling up my homies and it's hard to explain. Yeah, it's hard to explain. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 to me, nah, 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 right now. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 to me, nah, 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 right now. I wonder if you're social lately. I wonder if you're always fucking sober or emotional roller coaster, barely coasting, hardly cope. But wanna call me, but you never push that motherfucking button. Change on me. What about us? What about the times when you feel like you can trust? Yeah, now you wanna chase for the same shit. You hear the sirens in the lake and wanna chase them. Beauty on the out, but you're surrounded by the fake shit. Beasts in a maze. Sing about freedom like a bird in a cage. That's a whole different pain. Calling up your homies and it's hard to explain. Yeah, it's hard to explain. Staying on my mind on